When you think about the main core theme of My Hero Academia for the past few months, it's been mainly focused on heroes being viewed more human-like. That they're not just heroes, they're humans at the end of the day. Behind the mask, behind the broken bones and bruises, they're human beings. And that's kind of what we learned recently. And when you think about this chapter, it is a complete 180 of that. You have it to where Stain appears, and he tells All Might, stop acting like a human being and act more like a hero. And I feel like what this chapter goes to show is how much My Hero Academia as a series has evolved. It really shows how much the whole story in general and how the readers perceive everything has changed since Stain's introduction and when he got imprisoned to now his return to the series and having a pep talk with All Might. It's a good chapter. Hands down, like, easily one of the best chapters of all year for My Hero Academia, because obviously it's the return of an iconic character, Stain. Stain is, I think, easily one of the most fan-favorite characters that everybody loves, because he really kind of got the ball rolling for My Hero Academia. I remember when I was talking about it in the manga for the first time. I was like, yo, this character's crazy. I love his character, what he stands for, how, heroes should be more hero-like, like a true essence of what a hero, and his ideals, his mentality has been carrying around since the very beginning to where it's at right now. He's appeared every so often. We've seen the shift, the start of what Stain's legacy has been. And when you look at this chapter, it showcases how wrong Stain's ideals are, but also how right he is as well, and that he is someone that is not right in the head by any means, because when you look at his pep talk with All Might, you're not All Might. You're an imposter. You're not him. And he's like, I'm aware that you are All Might, but it's like, you don't stand for what All Might is right now. And obviously, when you look at everything on paper of what Stain was trying to say to All Might, it looks good. Hands down, Stain was saying what needed to be said to All Might. However, I feel like people are going to misinterpret everything that Stain was doing, and that he was forcing his ideals and his own selfish desires onto All Might, and not allowing All Might to actually choose what he wants to do, and forced All Might to start to try to be a hero once again, even though he is a worn down symbol that obviously should still remain as a civilian. But obviously it's All Might's decision what he does. But Stain's mentality of what he said seems good, but it could easily drive All Might to the point of no return, and eventually that fated day that Night Eye said would come will actually come. So that's the point I want to make, is that I love Stain's reappearance. It's fantastic, and it makes me hyped just to see him actually talking with All Might, and everything he said was just something that kind of blew me away, because it's like, him holding All Might at, like, knife point. He's like, hey, you're an imposter, what are you saying? To, forcing All Might to have a pep talk and look at, someone he saved, to also saying, hey, look, I'm the hero killer Stain, come to kill me one day when you're ready, and all that. And just everything about the conversation is really in-depth. It's unique, and it definitely showcases the level of writing that Horikoshi-sensei has built up for a very long time, how he's improved upon his characters, etc. And one of the things that I think people really need to take a moment to notice is that Stain admits that he is a villain. And I think that's a really good moment, because he's like, when you're ready, come after me. I am the hero killer Stain that has killed countless heroes. Only you can come kill me. And I think this is a really warped kind of ideal from Stain, kind of representing that he is not right or wrong, and that, what he's asking of All Might is something that All Might definitely would not do. Because when we think about the true essence of what a hero is supposed to be, especially what we have learned, is that a hero shouldn't kill a villain. That is definitely something we have learned, is that a villain isn't lesser than a civilian or another hero. That's something we really have learned the hard way in the recent arcs of My Hero Academia. And Stain basically saying that to All Might, which is kind of the embodiment of what a hero should be. It's like, you realize that All Might would not kill you, because it's like, he is supposed to be the very ideal of heroism itself. But for Stain to say that shows that his mentality of a hero is very warped. That's what that showcased, is that he's willing to be a martyr, but at the same time, he's warped to the point that he doesn't even truly understand what a true hero is supposed to be as well. So I like that. It's a really good showcasing of just how Stain views heroes and how he feels like heroes should be able to handle villains. Because he's always someone that's taken out the trash. He's that type of character. He's kind of like a Punisher type character that takes out the trash, because obviously the system won't. But if you really are a hero, you're not going to be the one to cross that line and put the villains down permanently. You're going to let the system do the justice. So that's the point here, is I love what this entire conversation kind of represented. And it's like, it's something we've known for a while, is that Stain isn't perfect. We've known his ideal is flawed for a very long time. He's right in some areas, but he's flawed in others. And I feel like his whole conversation with All Might represents his flaws and his strengths. And when he's talking to All Might and having him, like, look and notice what the woman was doing when she was fixing up the sign, he was like, look, your legacy as a broken pillar still is here. The people you have saved is still here. And they are people that will carry on your embers, your legacy, the stuff that you have built. So even if you do not stand, the very essence of what All Might embodies, the symbol itself, is still here. Even if its overall, I guess, image has changed, it is still here. It lives on through the students of UA. It lives on through the civilians. And we could see these little things building up alongside of all the other stuff we've seen throughout the recent arcs. So I think that Stain had a lot of truth. And I feel like All Might is definitely going to take this to heart and realize that, he doesn't need to be all down on himself. Yes, he's made a lot of mistakes, a lot of flaws, but he also needs to understand at the end of the day, he is human, and he makes these mistakes, but at the same time, it's through his passion, his ideals, and what he fought for, to why he inspired so many. So he needs to continue trying to inspire others, but at the same time, know when it's time to also rest. But I feel like Stain's words might have an opposite effect on him. I feel like, because of the piece of information that he was given, All Might might actually decide to use that information to go after villains and other things connected to All for One that, he won't tell anyone else. He might go on by himself. And I worry about that. I do hope All Might has learned, because, like, if there's one thing I want All Might to take away from everything that's been going on, is that he can't do everything by himself. That is the biggest lesson that I think Izuku has to learn, or had to learn, and All Might, obviously, he's kind of witnessed it himself, but has he learned? Has he truly learned? That's what I'm curious about, because All Might has information now. Will he take that to Izuku? Will he take that to other heroes? Or will he take it upon himself to be All Might, the symbol of peace, and face those villains by himself, and then potentially die because of it? I wonder. So, like I said, it's a good chapter. It's a really good chapter, very thought-provoking, because of just what it represents for All Might's character and Stain. And I do wonder if Stain as well, like, if he really is ready to die. I mean, I believe that he is someone that would definitely give up his life to All Might. If All Might was to walk up to him and say, hey, I'm here to end you and kill you, I feel like Stain would be willing to do that and be a martyr for the cause. He is definitely a character that would definitely be fine with it. Because, I mean, when we think about what he said a long time ago, he's like, the only one that is worthy to kill me is All Might. So him saying that word's kind of as a callback to that, and it all comes together. Everything is kind of coming back together, and it's just like, yeah. But anyways, let's talk about something else. One thing that does need to be mentioned is that I'm curious now what is on that piece of paper. Because we know Stain's been on both sides. He's a vigilante, like the Punisher. And I wonder if the information on that has everything to do with the villains that broke out, everything to do with what All for One is planning, and even information on himself and where he's going to be. I do believe that everything about what's on that paper is something maybe even All for One is aware of. Because, like, when we think about what we've seen already, All for One has had a contingency plan for almost everything, and there's no way he wouldn't know about Hero Killer Stain, and know about what Stain's legacy is, what's happened, etc. I feel everything about Stain handing something to All Might was predetermined and already kind of suspected. Like, for instance, All for One knows it's going to happen, and I feel like there maybe is something that's about to happen to All Might, or even Stain, because of whatever is on that piece of paper. There's just no way, after everything we see with Nagant and all that All for One doesn't have his hands dabbled into whatever is on it.
One last thing I do want to briefly mention is Stain's new design. It's like a nice mix of his original design when he was introduced for the first time in the manga to his design in My Hero Academia Vigilantes. It's a nice blend, and I really like what Horikoshi-sensei is doing with it. It's probably a lot easier to draw as well, because when you look back at Stain's old design, it was highly detailed, and probably it would just be difficult to continuously doing panel work with that type of design.
But I guess I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, it's a good chapter. Hands down one of the best chapters of the entire year of My Hero Academia, and I'm glad to see Stain's return. I did not expect to see All Might talking with Stain. I figured it would be Izuku with Stain, but not All Might. But anyways, guys, I'll leave it at that. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And with that, guys, be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.